Hello and welcome back to my channel. And today I would like to start a new segment called Talking to My Hand. And the reason for that is because I do not show my face, only my hands. And I would like to start this segment to do something a little bit different from the usual things that I do, not only actual plays and reviews, but a video where I can talk about other stuff. Of course, always related to RPG or things like that. And the idea to do this video actually came from another YouTube channel. It's a Brazilian YouTube channel called Alone Player. And yeah, the guy just created this content talking the a little bit about the challenges that he faces, some behind the scenes stuff and so on. And I just thought that it would be great to have some kind of video as well like this in my channel. I already did a response video to him in Portuguese, and I decided to do not exactly the same video, but the same subject in English as well. So this video is not a translation from my Portuguese video. So if you talk both Portuguese and English, you will basically watch a different content, but I will try to keep at least the same topics in order to share my opinion and my point of view about the topics that were discussed in the video. So as a content creator and mainly focus on solo RPG, the first challenge that we have is that we choose a niche of a niche of a niche of a niche. And this is really funny because if you start thinking about this topic, we have basically games in general. So we have several types of games. And then we have RPG games. But inside of RPG, now we have video games, we have ttrpg, and if we go to ttrpg, we have even more stuff there. And inside of the ttrpg niche, we have the solo RPG. I would say the smallest niche inside of the ttrpg scenario. I know that currently it is kind of a new thing and a lot of people are joining this way of playing, but it is still a really small niche and a lot of people, they didn't hear about it yet. So this is, I would say, the first challenge when we propose to start creating content to something that is it's small, right? So this is, I think that is definitely the first challenge. And personally, I have another challenge that is creating content in a foreign language. As you might know, if you are following my channel for a long time, or even if you just started by watching this video, you can clearly see that I'm not an English native speaker, and I always have issues on finding the right vocabulary, or most of the time the grammar as well. It's a little bit confusing to me. And when I'm trying to create a story or talking about a subject without a script, because I do not have a script, I just sit down, take my camera and start recording, and I start talking about things that are on my mind, or rolling tables and so on. And yeah, and sometimes I know exactly what I want to say, but I can't find the right words. And sometimes during the editing, I see, oh man, I made a grammar mistake here. I said this word, but I should have said a different word, and so on. So it's really difficult to me, but of course, this is something that I like to do, and it's another opportunity to practice my English as well. But apart from the foreign language, I have the challenge of creating content in both Portuguese and English. And of course, I cannot create the same content, exactly the same content. So I have people, I can see this on my channels, on my videos actually. When I create a video in Portuguese, I have some dislikes on my videos, and I assume this is because I didn't make that video in English. And the same happens when I make a video in English and I do not create this video in Portuguese. And so I have some dislikes. People are not happy with it. And from time to time I get new subscribers. If I publish a video in English, new people come to the channel and they subscribe and they join my channel, and this is great. But if immediately or a few days later I just post a video in Portuguese, people just leave my channel as well. So I get subscribers and I lose subscribers very often. So it's really difficult to see my channel growing, but it has been growing and I'm really happy with it. And I don't want to change my approach. And even if I talk about views, for instance, there are not so many people that speak Portuguese. There are a lot, of course, in Brazil. A lot. It's a big country, and we have people that speak Portuguese in Portugal as well, in other countries in Africa and so on. But it's not the majority. So when I create a video in Portuguese, I have about 50 views, or even less, depending on the topic. As I said, it's a niche of a niche of a niche, and it's not a broad language that is that a lot of people speak around the globe. So it's difficult, but I like to do this, so I don't want to stop doing it. So I'm going to keep doing in both English and Portuguese, and yeah, that is the goal of my channel in the end. It should create content for both, regardless if it's Portuguese or English. So, but this is a challenge for me as well, to create content. I need to create content, the same content twice, but I cannot replicate the same content. So it's impossible. I can take the example of this video. So I'm trying to talk about the same topics, but I can tell you, if you know Portuguese, you can check my other video and you will see that it's totally different right from the beginning. So I cannot just say the same words and so on. It's not just translate things. It's a matter of sitting down and start recording and having the same ideas. As I said, there is no script here. So after this, he start talking about how we solo players, how do we manage a lot of things or everything, right? And in order to avoid mistakes, because all the times we have mistakes, and he shared his opinion by saying, oh, I most of the times I start playing and then I see that I just forgot a rule and so on, and then I have some bookkeeping during my recordings, and yeah, so he just talked about this. And this is something that happens because as a solo player we have a lot of things to manage. We are the GM and the players, and if you have one of two or three characters, actually it's way more difficult. And depending on the system, you have several tables to check, or the rules could be a little bit heavy or crunch, and then it's difficult to manage all of it. And most of the time you will have some kind of mistake. But if you're playing solo, who cares? The goal in the end is having fun. So if you are having fun, this is great. It doesn't matter. And I say this as well, that if I record a video here and if I'm having fun, I'm happy with it. Because how can I expect from my viewers to have fun or to enjoy my videos if I am not having fun, or if I'm not enjoying it as well? So I need to have fun first. I need to enjoy it. So I don't care about mistakes. Of course, I try to explain all my videos. I try to explain everything, what I'm thinking, and I try to read the rules, and I try to do some bookkeeping. But of course, I cut all my videos. I try to edit a little bit, because I think it's really annoying just to wait 5 minutes to a guy flipping pages and try to find the right text or the right table and so on. So I try to just cut this in order to be more, to be better, to be viewed. And I think this is enough. Yeah, and I think that mistakes cannot be avoided. Yeah, it happens, and it happens even in group games, right? When you are playing with as a GM or as a player, and you have sometimes the GM forgets a rule, or the players just understand the rule differently, and then we most of the time actually in a group game we need to stop and discuss, because there are players that would like to do some stuff and they read the rules and they say, no, this is written in page 91, and the GM said no, but I don't agree with that, and so on. So sometimes we have these kind of disagreements on the rules, but it does not happen as a solo player. Still about the management of everything. He called about the time. If we have some concerns about the time, and I said I do not have any concerns about time. I just start recording. I do not take care of, oh, it's already 10 minutes, it's already 20 minutes or 30 minutes. I don't care about it. Most of the time I record more of 1 hour video. But of course, as I said, as I cut some parts from my video, some bookkeeping, and so on, it reduces. So if you are watching my Alone in Forbidden Lands series, you will see that my last video, if I'm not wrong, had 1 hour left, but this is after the editing. So after cutting all the bookkeeping stuff, taking notes, and so on. So it was way more than 1 hour in the end. But I don't care. So it's okay if I record a 10 minutes video, or 30 minutes or 1 hour. I don't care about it. I just do it. So the other topic that he says is about playing and speak. And this is actually a very common question that I see on forums, on Reddit, and so on. People asking, do you talk while you speak? And I do. Yeah, even when I'm not recording. Usually I prefer to record all the time that I play something. I prefer to do that in order to share this with you. This is my goal in the end. This is the goal of my channel, just to share my experiences, and I like to do this. But sometimes when I just trying to test something, or for some reason I cannot record because I have children in the living room, and I have my wife that possibly will interrupt me all the time. So I try to not record. Of course, it's almost impossible to do that. Although I did this in the past, I have a series called How It Really Is, where I try to record, and actually I did a great job at the time without interruptions and so on, just a little bit of background noises. But it worked. But most of the time I try to record my sessions. But even when I'm not recording, I like to speak with myself. So if I'm playing alone at this moment, for instance, I'm alone here, there's no one here, so I could just say, okay, I'm going to kill you. No, you won't. And I like to do this. It's funny. So I like it and I do it. But if I have more people in the living room, I don't do this. Yeah, sometimes, but not all the time. I try to avoid, or otherwise I just whisper to myself. But although I like to do this, it's not required, right? Of course, I'm recording, so I need to speak. I need to try to tell you guys what I'm thinking and so on. But if you're playing alone and you're not recording, it's not necessary. You can just say, okay, this guy met this guy, said, okay, let's go to a dungeon, and they just form a party and they go to a dungeon, and that's it. We do not need to have the whole conversation as we would have in a group session, right? In a group session, for instance, the GM will tell a lot of stuff, will try to bring some details in order to explain everything to the players, and the players will try to imagine it in their mind how things are and so on. They would ask questions. So group sessions and solo sessions, they have a different pace. So it's totally different. It's possible to have a whole adventure, one shot, playing solo in about 10 or 15 minutes if you just keep that you need to explain how is the first room and what this guy talked to this guy and so on. So you can just skip these parts and go to direct to the action. So it's a different pace. It's way more faster. On the other hand, if you go to a group session, you need to have all of these steps. And I'm not saying that this is a bad thing or a good thing. It's just different. Playing a game in a group or playing a game as a solo player, it's a different experience, and they are all valid experiences. And although my channel is focused on solo ttrpg, I do play in group as well. So currently I am a GM on a Forbidden Lands game, and I am a player in a Call of Cthulhu game and in a Savage Wars Deadlands game. So currently this, but regardless of these three games, these are currently campaigns, but all the time I'm running one shots by using different systems with my group and GMing most of the time, and I like this a lot. And actually the solo experience uh, helped me a lot on prep my one shots, for instance, or even my campaigns, because I don't prep too much. I don't like to prep, so I use my solo tools all the time. So the third topic that he Alon says in his video is how often you record. Do you have a routine like every Wednesday or so on? And I don't have it. I know that when we start a channel, or when we start to write a blog, or when we start a podcast or something like this, we somehow have a commitment, right, with our followers, because people are expecting to have more content very often. And even if you want to grow in a YouTube platform, for instance, the algorithm expects some frequency, right? You need to post more often. You need to post videos all the time in order to be viewed, have more visibility. But I don't have it. I do not have a routine. I just record when I want, and the reason for that is sometimes, or I can say that most of the time, I am tired. Yeah, I have my family. I have my job. My children. My oldest is 10 years old. I do not have too much stuff that I need to do on a daily basis. But with my youngest, my daughter, she has only 2 years old, and man, yeah, the girls are way worse than boys when they are babies. So I'm really tired all the time. But yeah, so I have other things to focus on, and they are actually my priority. But although I really love to record and play, I would love to do this all the time. I wouldn't like to have this as my job, of course, because this is my hobby. I don't want to switch my job and my hobby. I don't want to mix things. This is something that I do for pleasure, to enjoy some time, and of course share my experiences. So, and I like it. Of course, I like it, and it's good to do. But I only do this when I am able to. And it does not happen very often as I would like. So I do not have a routine, but I do have a commitment with my followers. I like to, if I start an adventure, I like to finish it at least. Yeah, so I have this kind of I'm always worried about of these consistency, I would say, in the channel. Yeah, so I believe that this is everything that I talk in the video in Portuguese, and I do not know if this is a good format, if people will like it or not, and this is just a test. But if you want to share your opinion about it, about the topics that I said, it's not one topic, right? I talk about a lot of things, and I even do not know how to call this video. Maybe I would call behind the scenes, or challenges behind the scenes, or something like this. But I would like to do content like this more often. This segment called talking to my hand. I hope you like it. So if you would like to comment, please comment. And yeah, and see you in the next video. Bye bye. Have a great day.